Hello there and welcome to View Water. It's Alara Varal here, and today I'm going to be interviewing Scotty Matthewman from Cape Town, who's just won a grant from his university to develop eco-friendly surfboards with his business partner, who also happens to be his classmate. So he's going to talk us through the stages that he's had to go through, the financial challenges that he faced, and giving a few inspirational quotes and books that us entrepreneurs might find useful. So hope you enjoy the interview. Bye.
Hey.
Hello. I'm Alara. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. You too.
Cool. Okay. So just want to introduce you. So we have Scotty Matthewman here, and Scotty, could you just explain where you're based and just a little bit about yourself and your brand, please?
Yeah. So I'm based in Harrisonburg, Virginia. That's where I go to school. It's about 2 hours from Washington, D.C. I've been working on some freelance graphic design currently, and on top of that, I'm also doing kind of like an eco-friendly surfboard project. I got a grant from my school for $2,000 to try to create a prototype and hopefully build a business off of that. But yeah, this past summer I've been looking at kind of expanding on social media, Instagram specifically, just since I've been in Africa for 3 months.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. And how far have you got with the whole trying to get yourself online presence more known? Because I know a lot of entrepreneurs today are just like trying to just get loads of followers, just get YouTube, Instagram, everything, and it's kind of like a race for running for your life, really.
I've had a kind of like interesting experience with it because it's tough to like gain like 1,000 followers like really quick, 2,000, 3,000. I mean, I don't have that much. I have like 250, 260 right now on Instagram for my travel account. But I've been like in contact with people who are like kind of doing the same thing, but like they're trying to take it on full time. I'm seeing that they're kind of accompanying Instagram with maybe like a blog or a YouTube channel or something like that. So I think it's probably better to have two or more kind of I guess flows of traffic for like a social media presence.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not much of I'm good at writing. I'm not like a big blogger, so like, I'm not super organized to be able to like
to write every week.
So I'm not really looking to do that. But yeah, I mean, if people find value in the Instagram, I'm kind of like pushing that more. But yeah, social media has been pretty cool. I've been like finding different ways to like potentially like make some money off of it. That's kind of like what I was looking into and researching.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's one thing having an idea, and it's another thing actually turning that into like a physical thing, like ideally money.
Yeah, the execution is huge. Monetizing is pretty tough.
Yeah, yeah. So you said you had your little bracelets. You were making bracelets and stuff, and you're starting off your surfboard as well. So is it like two separate little things you're running at the moment?
Yeah. So the bracelets I did my first year of college. I would literally sit in my dorm room watching The American Office, and like beating bracelets. And I started selling just by word of mouth, and then I got a website and made an Instagram for it, which kind of built it from there. I ended up making like 200 something sales.
Wow.
And it was for what it was, a dorm room bracelet company. I think it was a relatively good success.
Yeah.
And it actually ended up paying for all of my Kilimanjaro gear because I hiked Kilimanjaro earlier this summer.
Nice.
So yeah, I just took all the profits from that and just put it towards the gear and paid for everything. So that was pretty cool to have that like be the outcome.
Yeah.
It was really, the bracelets was really my introduction into entrepreneurship, just kind of like testing my feet.
Yeah.
And seeing how
gaining all the skills.
Yeah. And like I think sales was just like such a huge skill to learn. Like I think it's so important. So.
Yeah, definitely. So, and a surfboard business is a thing you actually want to grow on and turn hopefully into a business.
Yeah, I think it would be incredible to do that. It makes sense to me that like surf would have like the sustainability kind of like attitude and that whole like eco-friendly like movement. And like I'm very big on like environmental and wildlife conservation. So like I don't know, I like surfing. I'm not good at it, but I think it'd be really cool to like make surfboards. So one day my classmate and I were just like talking about whatever. We just started talking about surfing and then what it takes to make a surfboard. Then we started looking into it, and then we saw that all the materials that are currently being used to make surfboards are actually really bad for the environment. Whether it be like because the foam on the inside is just regular styrofoam, which takes like 500 million years to decompose or something like that, and then the resins and the fiberglass are all from non-renewable resources and have carbon emissions and stuff like that. So it's harmful to the environment and the people who make the surfboards. So we're trying to find I don't want to call them alternative materials, but because I want them to be the standard, but we're trying to find materials that aren't being used now to make a surfboard that works just as well.
Yeah, so eco-friendly material.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I suppose
yes, that's something that if we can get a prototype to work and it works well and we can improve upon that, then hopefully we can build a business off of it. And that's what I've been doing this summer, like while in Cape Town. I've gotten to speak to some people in the surfing community. I was actually at the big surf competition, J-Way. It's nice. It's one of like the World Surf League like spots. I got a free hat for buying some Corona, so that was nice. But yeah, I got to actually like speak to some pro surfers and like ask them what they thought, and I got some pretty good feedback. So I was really happy with that.
Yeah. And I think like making contacts with something like that is really important. Like having the people like to back you up and support you if you need to and give you advice. So are you doing this in partnership with someone? So are you planning to kind of develop it with a friend or someone?
Yeah. So he's a classmate, a friend, and we just kind of like came up with the idea together. And like he's stronger at some areas, like a lot of like organization, like actually doing the testing and prototyping, and then I'm better at like the marketing and the business side and the graphic design and stuff like that. So we kind of like just kind of brought our strengths together because we do kind of like contrast each other.
Yeah, that's really cool. So you can like actually become stronger when you work together. If giving that you get on all the way through. But I think that a lot of entrepreneurs think about that because they're like, do I have a partner or do I do it on my own? Because there are pros and cons to either. It would be interesting to know your insights so far into how you found like researching into it. I know you haven't got too far with it, but how have you found having a partner in it?
So I think I have a really cool perspective on it because I did the bracelets 100% alone.
Mm-hmm.
So like it was very cool to have all the control and make it exactly what I wanted it to. But this surfboard project, I feel a lot less like pressure on it because I have someone who can do the other half of the work. And that's one thing that I'm kind of like trying to learn myself is like how to develop a team for business, because they say never like work with your friends or something like that. And I don't know, my kind of like idea is like, well, I wouldn't want to work with someone I don't like being around all the time.
Yeah.
So it's a tough balance to find, but that's just something that really interests me. And that's something I'm still trying to learn. He and I, we just kind of like started talking. It was pretty natural. It wasn't like anything like we need to start a business. It wasn't I need to find someone to start a business with. It was like, hey,
do you want to do it?
It would be cool to surfboards.
Yeah.
And it's just something we're both interested in. So that was pretty easy. And that's just, I don't know if you start off saying, I have this business idea, who do I go find to do this job? Or if it's, I guess that's like employment, I guess, yeah. But to start a company, I don't know if it's to go find them or just it starts naturally.
Yeah.
I guess it's different.
Yeah, I think it works differently for different people. Like for me, I wouldn't want to go out searching for someone because then you don't know about the whole package. Whereas some people just I think it works differently but it sounds really nice that it's kind of like fell into place with you two, which is nice. So I'm wondering what kind of skills do you think you will need, or just values you'll need to hold as a entrepreneur to be able to make that business successful? Because I suppose you need to have inside knowledge into kind of like the surfing business, but you also say that your degree is really relevant as well. Like, like what kind of personal transferable skills and also background knowledge and values that you need to carry out throughout. Have you kind of thought about what you would need to make it successful?
One thing I've been seeing is consistency is something that like needs to be like cranked up a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at like coming back this semester, like being like a lot more into it. For values, I think consistency, just having a drive to like want to own something and create something and have control of something in part of your life is huge. Like I know there are a lot of people who like most 99% of my friends are just like, oh yeah, I'll go to school, get a job, blah blah blah, the regular stuff, and it's kind of like entrepreneurs are a little different. They like, I don't know, like most of the entrepreneurs I know, they have like a running list of business ideas that they want to start, and like I have one myself, and it's just like I think it's like 5 pages long now, but it's just like randomly in the day, like just having like different idea for an app or a product or something like that, and so I think having that creative side is like a skill.
Yeah.
That would be pretty.
Turn an idea into its physical equivalent.
When I say creative, I don't necessarily mean drawing or design or anything like that. Creative, I think, just means to be able to bring something into reality, I think.
Yeah.
For skills, I'm learning a lot within my program. So I'm studying design. Like a lot of what my degree is about is the design process. So like how to get from idea to product, and that's a lot of like planning and then iterating and testing and iterating and testing and iterating, and kind of like using the failures to like then learn and move forward in a better direction kind of thing. That's a lot what the design process is. So I think that's one skill that I'll have maybe like over other people because they haven't like gone through that kind of like education. So I think the design process is one skill that'll like be really useful.
Yeah.
Especially in business, because like a lot of big businesses, they start off as something else and they have to pivot and go do something else because they see that this isn't working. What can we do with what we have to go in a different direction?
Yeah.
Kind of like,
and that's a skill in itself, trying to adapt.
What would be the best strategy?
Yeah. And that's a skill in itself, trying to adapt. See what direction what's going in, and like, use that to go in a direction where it will work.
Yeah. So I think adaptation is huge. So I think adaptation and consistency are like really, really big.
Cool. And what is your what's the motivation that you have behind? So you're saying you need to be really consistent. So what's your motive to want to keep on going, carry on going? And is it the same with you and your your classmate that you wanted to work with? Like, what's your inspiration to do this?
It's kind of like, it's not silly, but it's like kind of different. Like,
yeah.
So I want to be, honestly, like I want to be a young dad, and I want to be like financially able to do that.
Uh-huh.
So my goal is to have a business before I get out of school, and that way, if I have to take a job and I have the business on the side, I can still keep working on it.
Yeah.
Or if it's like if I'm able to have it as a full-time thing, like right when I get out of school, that'd be fantastic. But that's kind of like the goal, to kind of set up a much easier life in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, just kind of like set the base layer.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of laying the foundation now, and just like I think a lot about like how I want my life to look and everything like that. So laying the foundation for the future and how I want my life to be.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the motivation, and I think having a relatively realistic timeline. Like I have 3 more years of school, so I think I can get something started in 3 years.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's kind of like the motivation is to meet that deadline of graduation. So.
Yeah, I saw that you'd got a scholarship for what you want to do with a surfboard.
It was a grant for the surfboards. It was like $2,000. So like all of our materials have been paid for so far.
So, because like a lot of people that want to start up their own business they're like, oh, I have this great idea, I want to do this, and they write it down and then, you know, do all these things to kind of make it work, and they're like, I need the money. And there's loads of different ways of getting it, but a lot of the time you have to be really creative about it. So do you have any advice for people how to get over that financial hump?
I think you need to put yourself in environments that like make sense. Like being on a college campus, like we're always like looking for these grant opportunities, and seeing that we want to create a business, we're going to the College of Business and seeing what kind of grant opportunities they have and doing our pitches in those kinds of competitions. And we actually got the grant from the College of Visual and Performing Arts because they had a grant competition where, like, my industrial design is technically in visual and performing arts. So we went to them and we pitched the idea more as I guess like researching like a material kind of like direction rather than the business, because like understanding that College of Visual and Performing Arts is less worried about the business, they're more worried about the product.
Yeah.
So I think knowing your audience and knowing the environment is huge. And then just being like, obviously being honest about what you're doing. Because if you're honest, you can elaborate on it, like without worrying. If you lie, then you have to like go back and be like, oh, what was the lie? What did I say? How do I keep it consistent? Everything like that. So just being authentic. One thing I've seen is being able to speak to people is huge.
Yeah. Being
able to go face to face and have a conversation with someone is like extremely important, and I've met a lot of people who can't really do that. So that it's hard to watch, but it's like it's a skill that needs to be developed, and it can be worked on and everything. But a lot of people don't really put it as a priority. So that's kind of my advice, to be able to speak to people and develop that skill, and to be able to network, and then know your audience once you get there. Great.
Well, that all sounds like really good bits of advice. Because I'm at very early stages as well, so I kind of need to sort all that out as well. And finally, do you have any one person that has like particularly inspired you, or any books that you've read, or any mottos that just keep you going, that make you stick to your point and like work towards your goals even in hard times?
The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho is my favorite book. I read it once a year. It's just got so many different like nuggets of just like inspiration or motivation, or just really like just thought-provoking like subjects and things to think about. So I think that's a really good book that everyone should read. It's a very easy read. It's not that long. It's a good story too. In terms of like quotes, the best things in life are on the other side of fear. Yeah. Is one. And this one is I remember I heard this like 10 years ago. I still remember it. It's he who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. I saw a motivational video that was just a compilation of Will Smith, and I told my mom was like, that's silly. I was like, no, it's like actually like serious, and like that was one of the quotes in it, so that kind of like stuck with me. So those are my two like kind of go-to quotes, just like never saying can't. Yeah. And in terms of a person, my high school basketball trainer, when the first time I ever worked out with him, he said, I will not work with you if you say the word can't. Like, can't cannot be in your vocabulary. Like, that's just, it's unacceptable. So for the past 8 years, I just haven't ever said the word can't. Like, I never say I can't do that. Like, it's always, here's the problem. How do we do it? Yeah. I don't know how to do it. Yeah. That's kind of my, like, that's kind of where I come from, is, like, not saying can't. Yeah. So all these different quotes that come up in my life are like, oh, shit, I didn't know that. Yeah. Yeah. So. It's so true. And it's, like, really helpful having people in your life, like, even if you've never met them, it's, like,
the values that they have are like so in tune with what you want to do as well. It kind of like really helps you reach your goals and get over, personal beliefs that would have otherwise been in your way.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well,
yeah.
You sound like you're really on track, and good luck. Good luck with getting your business going. Like I hope you get it going before you graduate. We've got 3 years. It's a long time.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll get some more money and get some more test runs underneath us and get it going.
Yeah, and I want to hear about it when you do get it up and running.
Yeah, for sure.
So you have to message me what the name of the company is and everything when you get there.
Yeah, we'll do.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a lovely day. Bye.